All right, y'all, welcome back to another video. We are here in the shop, LS Nasty headquarters, working on a little bit of everything. This week, I mentioned earlier in yesterday's video that we are working on a lot of different stuff. We got a bunch of different projects, we got a bunch of different parts, we got a bunch of different tasks that need to be completed because we want to get everything done and go racing. So you guys saw last week I put a video out saying we had a fuel pump failure and the black sheep was wounded, down for the count. I do want to clarify, I said that we overspun that fuel pump. I talked to the guys over at Alky Diggers. We were talking about the Enderly 110 pump. Matt's here. Matt's actually underneath the car examining some things that we're going to work on. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Matt talked to them about the fuel pump and the failure that happened. The guys from Alky Diggers said that it is a common failure for the EFI guys. That pump was originally made to run with mechanical injection stuff. So when you get running that real high pressure, it can put a lot of side load on the pump, knock the bearing out of it, and that's exactly what you guys saw. So for those of you guys that aren't in the loop, this glitter here in the bottom of our filter housing, that is the side of our fuel pump. So we are working on getting a new fuel pump. We're getting one that is specific for the EFI stuff. A lot of guys run that cast Enderly 110. I think it's a great pump, but we just had a failure, so we're gonna upgrade and go from there. So that's one thing we're working on. We're gonna get that fuel pump on there. We got a couple other things that, you know, just wear and tear at the track. We had a converter bolt hole strip out, so we're gonna heel coil the converter. We have a leaky pinion seal on the third member. We're gonna change that. We are going to install our Hughes Performance dump valve and make a stator change. So making a couple different adjustments there. We're not going to address the bar angle and bar length topic on the car right now. We're going to make these changes and go out and see how the car performs, knowing that bar angle and anti-squat change could be a potential issue, but we're going to see what happens with these changes before we make a change to that. So that's what we got going on. Also, we're going to take the injectors out and send those back to billet atomizer, get those cleaned. I have another set here, thankfully, that we're going to be able to put in there, and we should be good to go. So I think the plan is right now we're going to go racing in Darlington this weekend. So testing racing kind of deal. Not as ironed out as I'd like to be, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to roll with the punches as they go. Very excited to get this on the car. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things in today's video, so pay attention. Don't miss anything. Got my handy briefcase here. All right, so I'm gonna try to do better here. You were zoomed in like a, yeah, I could see.
Zoom in.
All right, so let's get down to business. You ever see someone walk around with one of these? You know they mean business. Got a set of 700, but these say like Proline Racing on them, so that's nice. So shout out to Proline Danny for always hooking us up with all of the parts. I'm trying to do better at filming, working on stuff, because for me, it's like, I don't know, you guys comment below. Do you guys like seeing the time lapse of working on stuff, or do you guys just like hourly updates or whatnot? That's up to you guys. We spoke previously on taking the bottom O-ring, so here, I'll show you guys on this, out for this intake, because they tell you it doesn't work with the correct height. See how it's got two O-rings?
Yep. So you take the bottom one out, just run the top one. It allows it to go down there further. A lot of you guys running any kind of billet atomizer injector with like a HOLLEY intake or Edelbrock or CID. Pretty much any EFI intake, you'll probably have to remove that bottom one. I found that out a long time ago after the rails wouldn't fit. I was like, dang. And after doing a cross section of the intake, it was the O-ring. It's in there.
It's definitely higher. It's definitely higher than the other one.
Yeah. We could just take a pry bar and dink.
I think I almost got it. Nope.
Yep.
I almost shit my pants.
All right, so we pulled the drive shaft out of it, and it's not a great one. Pretty sure it's mild steel. If anybody is watching that knows anything about drive shafts, you know, you have your critical speed. Really, any tube that's spinning has a critical speed, and once it reaches that critical speed, you can have some serious problems. The drive shafts start whipping around, vibrating. So
what happens to me if a mild steel drive shaft says helm to the no?
Yeah, I'll twist it while you're...
Oh, this is like the damn grapefruit lady on YouTube.
There
she is. All right, this is one. I really don't think there's anything wrong with these, but it'd be a hell of a mess up to
not replace it.
Not do it and have an injector fail, lean a hole out, and burn a hole out the block. So Rather safe than sorry. We got a couple sets of these here, so. Are you gonna do a burn out for the camera?
They're for Bernie. All right, so we're gonna get back to work. We're gonna pull the tranny out, and then we're gonna
we'll talk to you guys. We're gonna install a dump valve.
Yeah, dump valve, change the stator and the bolt together. We're gonna time cert the converter so we don't have any more converter bolt issues.
Yeah.
All kinds of good stuff. Alright, we got the injectors in. About to pull the transmission out. We're gonna clean the fuel filter once we get a sonic cleaner tomorrow. Put a new fuel pump on it whenever it gets here, maybe tomorrow or next day. Probably gonna go with a Waterman Nostalgia Bertha. It's a twin spur gear pump, so it can handle a lot more RPM, a lot more pressure, a little bit more gallon per minute. These pumps are like 13.9. I think this one's like 15.5. So some of the mechanical injection stuff, you gotta like really size your pump with what you're trying to do. But with the EFI, it's one of those things, just as long as the pump's big enough to support your power. Fuel pumps are the biggest snake oil thing. If you haven't realized, like, you get all these pumps that are like, oh,
3,600 horsepower on gasoline carbureted.
Yeah, no pressure, you know, carbureted in a
literally like a Magna Fuel 750, right?
Yeah,
which is like E85. You can make like what 700-800 horsepower.
Yeah, you can make 1,000 if it, depending on what it is, if it's something without a lot of boost. But then you go EFI, 50-pound base pressure, 30 pounds of boost, and you do all this stuff, and then your flow is going down and down every time your pressure is going up. So definitely read through the fine print on how. The best thing is how many gallons a minute and what it flows it at. So,
make a Facebook post.
Yeah.
Ask your buddies. Ask someone who's got a big ass fuel pump.
Yeah, don't ever buy shit twice. The worst thing you can do on a race car, and what kills a lot of people, is buying shit twice. They buy, you know.
And then there's me.
You buy it like 3 or 4 or 5 times. So,
all right, what are we doing now?
we're gonna climb under it, get the transmission out. I've never pulled the trans out, so I'll just have to look, see how you guys do it.
We remove the bell housing bolts, and then we remove the transmission cross member, and then we put a jack under it and we lower it down.
Oh, I usually take my converter bolts out, but I guess you gotta leave them in.
Damn it, I forgot that. We take the converter bolts out first. All right, guys, welcome back. We got Salty Matt back here in the video. I was trying to order a bunch of parts and everything, and I think we made a pretty good chunk out of the parts I needed to get. So we got that stuff ordered up, and oh my god, you guys are watching this live. I hope this is in frame.
Get the tether.
Matt and Logan got the torque converter bolts out. This one right here was the one that was actually welded. I don't know if you guys can see. It keeps like looking at my face. Just focus. See, it was welded in there because it was stripped out. What you thought? A little short?
Yeah, this is the length we switched to.
For comparison, this is you and this is us. Everyone at home. This is you. And this is us that your girlfriend
tells you not to worry about.
Yes.
Yeah, the bolts were a little short, so that's probably where they started to get stripped out.
Welcome back to Island of Adventure.
Alright. So we did not think that this was time started previously. You can't remove a time start, can you?
Yes, trying to focus. It's struggling.
Can you remove a time start? God, these are absolutely destroyed.
Yeah. So now we have a billet paperweight.
Is this useless until I send it back to Pro Torque?
I don't even know if they can fix it. It looks like they have some type of fixture that bolts in there to drill this. And you see how these are staked?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What caused this?
Oh well, it could be.
God! Look at that, it's cracked.
Yeah.
All the threads are off this one.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens whenever they're loose and you're running it. Probably originally what happened was the bolts were a little short and they were not Loctited and had no lock nuts, so when they came out and loosened up, they just beat the shit out of.
Look at this one. Can you zoom in on this one? Let me see if I can get some lighting in there. This is like a horror movie. Look at that.
Yeah, that one's pretty rough, and that one My camera skills suck.
Hold on. This one right here is pissed. This one right here is cracked. Holy shit, look at that one.
Yeah, I can see.
What about the one down here? Oh my god, this was the one that has no threads. This right here.
It's fucking making over here.
That right there has no threads. Oh, let me get the lighting right.
Yeah, it's not.
There's 0 threads. Alright, well, this is a problem. I literally talked to Pete at Hughes Converters, because I use him for some converters, and I said I've been using him for some no prep stuff, which I haven't used yet, but like I've got it, and the converter looks like super nice. And I was like, hey, I want to give you a call today and talk to you about possibly running your stuff on some of my radial stuff. Sounds like we're gonna be running his stuff some of the radial. This is
let's try to get one of these time certs out and just see about removing it and then redoing it.
See, I generally don't film this like when it goes south. I was like, yeah, we'll just we'll get it fixed and I'll pick the video back up. But you guys are along for the ride this whole week, so if you guys want to see more of this action and us, like, I could cry right now because this is potentially a $2,500
Oops.
$2,500. Go to ellisnasty.com, buy a shirt, please.
Take it away, Matt.
Oh yeah, that's pretty rough. Some of these inserts, like this one, if you can see it there, the insert's loose.
Wait, do that again. Hold on. Just went blurry. Hold on. Let me focus. Going slow. Went blurry again.
Try welding it. Yeah, welding steel. JB welded steel to aluminum. So some of these are cracked. Some of them are.
What's your thought on the stakes? Like that will prevent you from unscrewing it.
Yeah, I mean,
you can remove the stake. Oh, so this one, the stake removed itself.
Yeah. So normally, like what they do is they have this. I'm assuming these bolts here are for a fixture. Goes in there, stakes it. It's a good design because you don't want these coming out, but it also they probably weren't planning on them being this damaged. So this is it says this back cover is made by Bonifant, so we might be able to call them and be like, hey, you got the back cover for a Pro Torque converter, and see how much it is. Usually on these converters, the cost is probably going to be a majority of the back cover, a billet back cover. So
we could probably get a new one from
if
Hughes.
they're like oh, it's $1,500, then you get a whole brand new converter for Hughes for more. It's kind of like, I don't know, because we're having some issues with getting the stators in this. So right now it's kind of looking like maybe just a new torque converter might be the way to go. We're about to do the dump valve. This is the governor servo cover, 400. Normally there's a spring and some shit in here. If you got a race one, it's probably not in there. This bolts in right there, and it will bleed pressure off of the converter charge circuit. So fluid's coming out of the transmission, out of the pump, going into the converter, and then normally it'd be going through the cooler circuit, and it just deadheads here. So what we do is we install this valve solenoid, and it opens up this, bleeds pressure, and dumps it back inside the transmission. By doing that, you reduce your converter charge pressure. So your converter charge pressure is how much pressure or fluid is inside the converter. Whenever the pressure is over about 50, the converter is pretty much full. Like you won't see a big difference going from 50 to 100. Below 50, you start to see the converter will get looser. So you get like on the brake, and it's looser. When you start getting down to 40, it's better. 30. To really make a difference, you need to get it below 20. So if you can turn your dump valve on and you're on the brake and your converter charge pressure is below 20, you'll see a pretty substantial increase in how easy it can spool, because there's just no fluid in the converter, to catch the vane, to catch the stator. So you can use it as a tuning option for getting it to spool. You can use it as a tuning option for going down the track. Like on the nitrous car, on the no prep car, when I let go of the button, I leave the converter dump on, and it really softens the converter head up for how tight the converter is. You can do it whenever it shifts. So like if the shift's real violent, you can calm it down a little bit. But this thing's also, it's not really reactive, so you need to be proactive with your tuning. It's not like you turn the dump valve on and it's instantly. Like you turn the dump valve on, and a couple of tenths later the converter starts to drain. So if you're trying to do it for your shift or whatever else, you need to kind of realize that it's not like on and off. Like you got to do it before you want it to come on. So we're gonna install this. It's got some brackets.
What are we gonna do? What is the benefit of us using it?
We're going with a tie. This car gets up on the chip pretty easily, so it needs a tighter stator, so we're gonna go from like I think it's at a 1735 in it now. We're gonna go to like a 1532 and a half. So when we go to that lower number, that 15, it's gonna make it harder for it to get up on the brake. So without the dump valve, you might be just John put it on the trans brake and he's just holding it to the floor, just waiting and waiting. And eventually it'll probably get on the chip, but the transmission will be cooked by then. So with the dump valve on, hopefully it will allow us to get up to our target RPM with our before it goes to bump in. So that's why we're doing it on this car. Not really tunability for down the track, which we could possibly use it, but mainly just to help it spool with the tighter converter.
Awesome. All right, go ahead.
All right, back at it. We didn't read the directions, so we're just kind of winging it. If you're doing this to a stock 400, you're gonna have to take your pump out and do some modifications for it to be correct, because I guess the fluid doesn't move enough. The pump doesn't move enough fluid to the coiler circuit to make it effective. So this one's already been modified internally, so we don't need to worry about that. So we're gonna be doing this. We're gonna have one line right there like this. And the other line's gonna go like that.
Good to go.
Good to go. Welcome back to our adventure.
All right, so another thing on our list is the leaky pinion seal. So we're just plugging away here. As you can see by the mess on the ground. God, why is that like green? It's like radioactive.
It's just gear oil.
God. Our pinion seal's leaking. Our brand new wishbone that Matt installed is covered in it, and he's not happy about it.
Oh,
It's not long enough.
no, that bolt ain't supposed to be in there.
What?
That one is just like a stud. I'm not really sure what. So I'm gonna need a deep well, 11/16 for that one. Oh, that could be why it's leaking.
What?
This is supposed to be fine thread, but that's coarse thread. This has been something that's been bothering shit out of me ever since I first went down to them in Florida. I was like, well, no, we got a problem with the rear end's leaking. They're like, oh no, it always leaks. So if you've ever gone down the track behind us,
I apologize. So I think it's just the pinion seal though.
take that off them.
What?
Take that off.
Oh my god, I wonder why I'm very concerned on why there's a coarse thread in that housing.
Alright, you have to. I don't know which way you're gonna. I'm hoping to go out right through here. There's some shims in there. I'm trying not to pry on the shim.
There she is. Look at that, right on that freshly unpainted wishbone, just how we do
You don't even
it.
have to paint it. It just absorbs all the gear oil and then.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's it right there, folks.
Ooh.
God, you see that material in the oil?
Yeah.
We need a gear, huh?
I don't know. We'll be able to look at the pinion and.
Oh. It was very metallic-y for a second there, folks. How heavy is that thing?
It can be kind of heavy, but I just want to let all the shit drain out. How much fucking gear oil do you have in this thing?
Enough to keep her leaking.
You know, it's only supposed to go to the bottom of the axle tube, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going, I mean, obviously high enough. It's going up to the pinion seal, like the top of it. So.
The pinion is a little bit. It's like should be right below the pinion, but it looks like a little nudge on the.
God, look at this shit in here.
Yeah.
Damn, it's not a good sign, folks. But much better off to find the gear getting fatigued now and change it than on the start line.
How many passes does it have?
Oof. It's probably got a lot of passes.
No, I mean you changed the 373.
Mid-season last year.
I mean not really an excessive.
I'd say like maybe 100 passes.
Yeah, it should. Damn. Mofo been in a vise. Oh, that could be why it leaks.
Oh, it's like that on the inside?
Yeah. Got my strong hand on it.
Needs a gear now. Oh no. Oh God! Well, hold on. We're oh God! I didn't even realize. No one realized. Man,
Matt is soaked.
I only wish.
Matt's soaked.
I only hope there's someone around here that has a bunch of T-shirts. Or like sells them for like their job or something that could give you one.
You know, we actually got a return to sender T-shirt in just a minute
I
ago.
wonder what size that is. Hold on, I'll read it out. What if it's the right size? There's no chance.
If it's a 3X, you still got to put it on.
Where is it?
It's on the table in there.
In here?
Yeah.
Someone just failed. I'll read it out who it is, so if you're watching this video, you know you didn't get your merch. We have to send it out again. I'm not gonna say you put the wrong address in, but there's a chance you put the wrong address in.
What if it's a pair of
Holy shit, it's one medium. What are the chances? Return to sender, let's see who it is. Who did not get their merchandise? Yo, this is literally hilarious.
No, you're showing their address and stuff.
No, I'm just gonna read the name. Larry Tapp, Dallas, North Carolina.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
Lock in or go home. What are the chances it's a medium? All right, I gotta take a picture of this and we'll get you a new one sent out. But return to sender. God, that was first class too. You pay for some postage around here.
I don't know. I was hoping it was going to be like a 2X.
What are the chances that it's a medium?
Then Matt's just wearing a dress around all night.
One of my most underrated shirts. It's absolutely badass. Look at the back. Lock in or go home. Hold on. It's tag. You don't need that. You guys didn't know the next level tags are made to rip out.
It doesn't. He just chokes me like.
Took the rear end apart. This was the rear end that came with the car, so it's got some funky stuff going on with it. To Mosier housing, Mosier pinion support. It's pretty beat up. We're gonna rebuild it. We are going to. Do you want to get a new pinion support?
Yeah, I mean this thing's.
Somebody
was in
like
there
hogged out with a Dremel.
with a die grinder. Like, they probably couldn't get the seal in there, and they were like, "Huh, I know how to fix this."
Do you think that's exactly what happened? Do you think that the strange one would bolt right into that?
Yeah, I mean the 5-bolt forward is like the Daytona pinion support. Like you could probably swap it. The problem is though, is when you start changing the pinion supports, and then you get your gear pattern. We already got a gear in there that's already wore to its current gear pattern, so you start changing the gear pattern, and you can.
So now you're changing the gear. So it's like.
So if you're doing that, then you might as well just get a whole nother third member, because by the time you buy this and all that, then you just got the other case, and then you got like a bunch of mixed match parts.
So this video went from $2,500 converter to let's add another $1,000 in there for a rear end and gear. Logan's eyes are huge right now. What else we got?
Oh, I know who to hit up.
Drive shaft. We found out this thing's got like a mild steel drive shaft that weighs a metric ton. So we got drive shafts. We're up to $5,000.
We knew it had a.
I thought it was chromoly drive shaft.
No, have you never picked that thing up?
I mean, I have, but not in the past.
No, John's actually just that strong.
Yeah, I pick it up and I was like, oh.
I'm used to weighing a shaft like that.
Yeah, I hear you. What's his name? Black sheep right here in the middle. R&R injectors, we already did that. Change fuel pump, clean fuel filter. We're gonna do it tomorrow after we get a Sonic. Fix converter threads. We're up in the air on this right now. Probably just gonna have to end up getting a new converter. Replace flex plate. Everything's good on the flex plate. No issues with that. Fix wiring and relay issue. We're gonna go to the HOLLEY Smart Wire or Race Pack Smart Wire. Measure brackets for shorter top bar. We were talking about the unequal length bars. Get the brackets measured and get those made. Fix leak in rear. New rear gear. QA1 sticker, got to put that on the car because QA1's taking care of us. They're great. And get drive shaft from QA1.
You can mark that off the list because I mean we got it's already in process.
This is already in process. We're waiting for that to come in.
It's just bolted in. And then we got Slick Rick. We're gonna mount the transmission, do the steering column, patch firewall. Which instead of patching the firewall, we're probably just gonna put a whole firewall in it, because if you got 1 or 2 holes, yeah, patch them. But when you got 10 holes, like. You end up spending more time patching it than you do just putting a new one in there, and then the patch firewall looks like shit.
Order drive shaft, another QA1 carbon drive shaft, and then order low-dollar motorsport sensors, Rife sensors. We have all the HOLLEY stuff. We have the ECU master stuff, so we're pretty much close to having everything to put the car together, waiting on the turbo and everything for that to come in. Then over here with Blizzard has a very short list that we could probably knock out tonight. Mount engine transmission, measure for drive shaft, get a QA1 drive shaft ordered. Install titanium bars from Cameron Johnson race cars. Install rear shocks, got a set of mensers need to go in there. And install spindle mount fronts. So I think I need to get a couple parts for the spindle mount front end.
The bushings for the A-arm spacers and stuff.
Yeah, bushings for the A-arm spacers. A couple little odds and ends things here. But we're hoping we can get the Blizzard stuff wrapped up tonight, so that'll be tomorrow's video. Black sheep stuff we're going to hammer out tomorrow, and Slick Rick stuff. We're going to get this stuff hammered. And this stuff right here is a list. Get done with this list, make a new one, and keep plugging away. So until you're out of stuff to put on the list. we got going on. Logan's looking at us like, y'all ain't never getting this shit done. But I feel, you know, we did a lot of the time-consuming stuff today.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, some stuff, if you've built a race car at home, you understand that some stuff that you think is going to take a long time doesn't take any time, and then some stuff that is like, oh, I can knock that out in 5 minutes, it ends up taking 5 hours. You just run into issues like the converter. Like, some stuff's unknown, some stuff takes
Well, you
longer.
know, if you would have been here at 7 a.m. this morning, 5 hours extra time.
Well, no, Matt's just not sleeping today, so that's the difference. But that's going to wrap up on today's video. Within the next couple days, I'm stacking a couple videos up because we're working late tonight. So later this week, whether it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it'll probably be Thursday or Friday or Saturday, you guys are going to figure out who the winner is for the Boomhauer giveaway. So I'll get the results on Wednesday, but if I'm filming videos and I'm ahead of pace, you guys just got to wait for it. So Wednesday I get the results. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, be on the lookout.
We're going to the track?
We're going to call them.
We might go to the track. Yeah, we're going to call them, so if you get that phone call, you know, it'll be sweet. So.
We're going to race this weekend, but that ain't happening.
Yeah, it's...
We still need to, I feel like we still need to go somewhere and support.
We'll go somewhere sport. We'll go watch. We'll go to Red Springs. Hey, we take the Silverback 06 out there. Oh, it's acting up right now. We got to do a whole other video on that stuff too.
Well, I was pointing at the grill.
Oh,
We'll just go out there and hang out and barbecue.
hey, look at this. Shout out to my parents for getting me this badass smoker, the Ironwood 885. I mean, this thing right here. I cannot wait to put so much meat on this grill.
I think I'll handle a lot of meat.
Yeah, this thing is. I mean, I've been known to put my meat on a lot of grills before, but I've never been more excited to put my meat on this grill.
We could probably put all our meat on that grill at the same time.
All right, that's gonna wrap today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Come like, subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow's upload.
He gets the buy this round. Don Doc got the buy this round. The black sheep on the property. He got the buy for the next round.